Fantasy Football Show.
Hello everybody, welcome to TOT&HAM, the weekly show about Tottenham and West Ham from Planet FPL. My name's Serge.
And my name is James.
TOT&HAM. Not often we get to come on when we win and you lose, James. Not often.
I don't know anymore.
It'll get more regular, more
frequent.
frequent.
It might be, yeah.
I think as the run into to the end of the season now, it wouldn't surprise me if it becomes a little bit more frequent. Game week 27, was it 27, 28, whatever
28.
it was. Ended. We had a home game against Southampton. You had a game against Wolves. Let's start with yours. You predicted, get out of the way and done and dusted. You predicted last week that Wolves were a better football team and going to give you a lesson and that you fully expected to lose. You went 1 up.
Yes.
They clawed it back. Went 2-1 up.
Yes.
They clawed it back. And then you lost.
Yes.
They've done that to a few teams this season, have Wolves.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, just briefly on Wolves, obviously, they are, as I've mentioned before, a side that are, results-wise, when you compare their first half results, one of the worst sides in the league, to the second half performances, one of the best sides in the league. I think one of the reasons for that is the amount of possession that they see. They stay in games so well. Anyway, it's not about Wolves. One of the reasons, I don't know about lesson, but if you were asking me, did I think Wolves would beat us? Yeah. I can't remember going to a game against a side who are not regular so-called Big Six opposition and feeling so unconfident. And the reason for that is partly them, but obviously mainly us. Just so far off, mate, in so many departments, from manager all the way through the team, from back to front, so out of sorts. I'm just waiting for coronavirus to finish this football season, mate.
What did you think on, and I'll be honest, I haven't paid much attention, Jose's thoughts after the game? Usual?
Yeah. I didn't disagree in the fact that the defeat was, I wouldn't say harsh, but the draw was probably about right overall. We had spells in the game where we actually played all right. If I can focus on a couple of positives, we scored 2 really good goals. Mm-hmm. The second goal is one of the best goals we've scored this season from Aurier. Not so much it was a great finish, but actually everything that I'd highlighted previously in terms of what you want to expose from Wolves about picking up the ball in between Moutinho and Neves and in front of their back 3/5 and moving the ball quickly in those areas where it got fed in and then it got moved on quickly into a wide area. So that was really pleasing. And there wasn't too much long ball stuff other than it resorted to it at the end. But sitting there, from being in a position when Jimenez scored, thinking, all right, this is probably about right in the game. From the moment Jimenez scored, the game was finished. We did nothing after they scored.
Yep.
Ali has a great chance at 2-1 to make it 3-1. From that perspective, if he scores the header, we probably win the game. But Wolves are a very, very competent side. They know interchanging between their two systems. Obviously went with a 3 up front, which kind of reverts into a 5-4-1 without the ball. They know exactly how they're going to play.
Every game for Wolves is copy-paste, mate.
Spurs have no identity. This is what we talk about in terms of frustrations now, and it's starting to turn on Mourinho now. Because the fans look at the performance of Chelsea, obviously Leipzig, the Champions League before that, and now obviously Wolves on Sunday. And there's a few people now. Yeah, of course.
Oh, it's difficult.
They're playing three good teams.
Of course.
But honestly, Suj, it shouldn't matter if we play Liverpool 3 times in a row. We shouldn't lose 3 times.
Learn from your mistakes
I
and get
expect
better.
more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm entitled or in the right position to expect more, looking at the makeup of the squad. I mean, I say there were at times on Sunday where the football was a bit better, but it was only really when it went through Lo Celso, who didn't have his best game, but was again the standout in terms of what he wants to do on the ball. Every other player, pretty much underwhelmed.
Bergwijn.
Okay, yeah.
Scored a goal.
Right place, right time. Him and Lucas worked hard. Technically wise, not great. The one difference with Bergwijn to Lucas to compare the two is Bergwijn really plays with his head up.
Okay.
Which is a good trait. It's something I like to see. Whereas Lucas is a really good dribbler, but he's very head down, which means he often goes into blind alleys. From a tactical perspective, Dele Alli played up front. The one thing I can credit Mourinho, slightly different to the Chelsea game, is I could see a tactical plan in this game. After the Chelsea game, I was like, what was that? What was your intention at any point to try and chase the game or get back into it beyond, let's hope we keep a clean sheet here? I could see a plan. So Ali played basically as a false nine, and I use that term rather than a nine. And in terms of the actual spacing of the front three, it was quite similar to Liverpool. So in defensive areas, a kind of functionally Lucas and Bergwijn would get back into half defensive positions, but really look into a counter-attack. As soon as Dele came off the back three, and I didn't mind this, it's one of the things I talked about Lamella trying to do, is leave them and outnumber them in midfield. As soon as Ali came into a deeper position, Lucas and Bergwijn would go and fill the space, essentially. Quite similarly in terms of what Mane and obviously very particularly what Salah does for Liverpool. So I could see there was something there that had tried to be worked on. The problem was, another benefit would be, unlike the Chelsea game with Aurier playing, the two wing-backs actually got high. Ben Davies actually crossed the halfway line as a wing-back. But I don't know, again, if this is a little bit reflective on Wolves because they go so deep and they're happy to say, go on then, fling it in the box. You've got no centre forward. We got Bolly, Cody, Saiss. You ain't winning the header. No. Go for it. Or if it was by design. The back three was a really strange choice, being that Alderweireld and Vertonghen, who legs are gone, both poor, are the two best distributors of the ball when you're in possession. And neither played. Eric Dyer played in the middle of Tanganga left and Sanchez right. And Eric Dyer didn't do too badly, but it just felt really weird that he was suddenly back in the team as centre-half. I think he played purely on the basis to talk the other two, Sanchez and Tanganga, through the game. Because there's a feeling amongst the fans now, with how much we're getting done in behind, that it might just be better just to go Sanchez and Tanganga. Bit of pace, don't mind a bit of physical, get on with it, give them a chance in a back four. But I think in terms of communication and leadership, there's none between them. I think it would be bad for Tanganga to play in that partnership at the moment. That's the sole reason why I think that Dyer played. But let me ask you, you ever seen a Mourinho team with a back five or a back three ever play well?
No.
It's never worked.
No, he's always had a good, strong, physical striker and then two tricky wingers that like to get in. And I give him back Harry Kane and then Son on one side and Moore on the other, whoever you want. I think it'd be a different proposition, but obviously it's not right now. You're now 5 points behind Chelsea.
Oh, forget all that rubbish, man.
2 points behind United. Arsenal win their game in hand, albeit it's against City that level on points with you all of a sudden.
I think Arsenal will finish above us. I'd take the piss out of them most weeks, but I think they'll finish above us, especially now they're out of Europe.
Wolves, Sheffield United, Man United. I think you'll finish below all of them, potentially.
Wolves should finish fourth. I really mean that.
They're
the Europa League.
Good team, aren't they?
Well, they're the most consistent in terms of, we talked about consistency. What they've got to do is change it. If they change the draws to wins, they can finish fourth.
I'm actually, strangely, looking forward to them coming to the London Stadium and the next home game, because obviously it's a Sunday lunchtime game. They'll have had Europa League on the Thursday. Now we know it doesn't really affect them, but by the time we get another 2 games into the season, and if they got past the Espanyol fairly easily. If they look like they're progressing even further, eyes will be elsewhere, and we'll try and give them a good physical game.
I disagree with that now. One of the things Mourinho said after Chelsea
do you think getting Champions League spot for Wolves is more important than maybe winning the Europa League? Or equally important?
I think they'll balance, and they're unlike others in terms of how much they'll change.
They'll
go for it. They'll just change one or two occasionally in the attacking areas. But I think they'll go for both. Why not?
Good team, Wolves, eh? Really good team.
One note you talked there about Europa League fatigue, right? Well, Wolves didn't play with any. Mourinho said after Leipzig and after Chelsea, he said this team's knackered, fatigue, right? So you had 8 days off. Wolves played twice in that time, including 3 days earlier. You can say, okay, it might have been a half and half game in Espanyol in terms of they were already through, but the whole squad channeled out there basically, bar one or two. And they were the side that were stronger in the second half. So what? We weren't mentioning fatigue yesterday. Well, could he? Because it just would have been bullshit.
Yep.
I find it difficult to accept that what he worked on, having finally got a free week, because that's one of the things he's been shouting at. Yeah, I need a week to train with the players. Okay, you've had it, and you worked on a back five again. Really? It's not you, is it? Whatever you think or don't think of Mourinho, I just don't see him as back three or back five manager. And I think the system he picked was frightened of them on the counter attack, and it didn't stop it, did it? I mean, I know people go, oh, you can't say that. So someone take Jota out on the third goal. Just get it done. Just push him over, whatever. And they just let him breeze through.
How do you feel about your purchase of Jota now? You obviously bought him for a long-term buy for FPL point of view.
Yeah, it was the right decision, wasn't it? Right decision.
And obviously they're available in 31, right?
Yeah.
So now you'll be holding him through for another few
A lot of
weeks.
people commented to me, and a few people tweeted me
attack.
after the game, and I've obviously had a look at my team or whatever, and went, oh, you were confident in Spurs, weren't you, with like bringing Jota in on top of Jimenez and Traore?
You don't listen to last week, any of the shows. He probably said it about 5 times he thought you were going to lose.
Yeah, it's credit to Wolves in that I really, really rate them, and obviously we're in a bad place. There was a couple of things that come out following the game. Obviously, one thing I haven't mentioned is Lloris injury, groin. I don't know how serious that is at this stage. That's another mortal blow if he's out for a while. Lamela, who I was desperate to see in the team, apparently told Mourinho pre-game that he didn't feel up to even being on the bench. So I don't know if he's come back and he's just been playing 20-odd minutes here and here with an injury. But Lamela's withdrawal meant finally a place on the bench for Troy Parrott. Now, I had a drink or two before the game with a couple of lads, and to be honest, Parrott was probably top of conversation on people's minds before we'd seen the team news. There's been stories surfacing around Spurs fans, which I was unaware of a couple of things that maybe explain why Parrott's not been included. The first is there was a video that went round some time ago of him apparently dropping his bollocks and his dick in a teammate's face, which you can make of that what you will. I'd suggest it's probably not clever, and because he's a kid, it's kind of got passed over. And it was also photographs during the winter break of Parrott away with Dele Alli, photographed with someone from Ireland, and obviously Parrott is Irish, who's a known sort of, he's in drug rings and stuff like that. So the speculation is he's hanging around in the wrong crowds at the moment. And people, if he's hanging around with Dele Alli, unfortunately, people are going to make bad conclusions in terms of role model, etc.
Correct.
So that's part why I think he's not been thrown in. But then Mourinho's repeated after the game yesterday that like he's not ready, and he doesn't want to like throw him in and all that. The fans were chanting his name. The fans in the ground were chanting for Parrott with 10 minutes to go because it was clear on what was going on that we weren't going to score.
No.
We weren't going to score unless someone smashed one in from distance or something. It wasn't going to happen. So the fans are chanting for Parrott, 18-year-old kid, and I can promise you that 90% of them have never seen him play. I know he's a talented kid from what I've seen. His link-up plays good. He's decent back to goal, and he knows the position. I spoke last week about just scrap it. Just throw him in. Like, sod it.
I agree with you.
But I understand there might be stuff behind the scenes which has drawn it back. But then yesterday, he puts him on the bench. Once you've done that, like 3-2 down, 10 minutes to go, throw him on for God's sakes. He brought him on in the 90th minute. Never touched the ball.
Yeah, pointless.
What are you expecting? So now you're leaving him out to dry. I'm surprised he didn't turn around and go, well, what did he do in 4 minutes?
The Norwich won at the weekend. What are you thinking on the FA Cup? Probably still beat them?
Truthfully, I think although Mourinho will desperately want to win a trophy and it is our best shot of win, well, it's our only shot of winning one, I think he'll pick a mix and match of strong versus rotated players. I think like Alderweireld and Vertonghen will probably play. Jedson Fernandes will play. He really should play Parrott. Like, there's no excuse. Just play him.
You think you'll win
Norwich.
or do you think you'll lose?
I think if Norwich turn up with their full team, I think they'll beat us. That's where we're at.
Oh, difficult.
I don't know if Norwich will or won't, because the fact they've won on Friday...
The 3 points from...
And then they play again in the league on the Saturday. I'm not sure. They changed a lot of the team at Burnley in the fourth round, but they're bringing 9,000 as well. Do they want to let down the 9,000 who's going to come and turn up on a weeknight? So they'll obviously have great support as well. It will feel like a home game for them. So it'd be interesting to see what Norwich do with it. If you're sitting there right now and you're banking on Norwich and Everton definitely being on in 31, I wouldn't.
Not yet.
Like, we're in such a bad place.
Oof.
If we lose Wednesday night, it will turn. All that about Kane out and Son out, people are going to start going, no. Hang on a minute.
Got to do better than that.
Whatever team you're picking at home to Norwich should do the business. And that's the correct answer. Whatever team he picks should do the business. And when people were getting in their knickers about 23 points from 13 games after we won at Villa, I mean, no one's shouting about it now, are they? The Villa win, the City win, the Southampton win were all papering over cracks. We could have easily lost all three of those games. Should have definitely lost to Southampton and Manchester City.
Yeah.
Definitely. And the Villa game was an untypical Mourinho game. In fact, it was probably quite an enjoyable watch for the neutral. It wasn't a joy. I'll go back to what I've said previously. Is this guy actually a defensive coach? One of the things I always used to credit him for was the way, obviously, tactically, defensively, he knew how to set up a team. I'm not even sure with the game is evolving that he even knows how to do that now.
That's enough, Spurs. Misery for everyone. And if you haven't switched off already.
But there were a couple of things on Saturday, like I said, in terms of the way we tried to play, particularly at the beginning of the first half and the beginning of the second half. We tried to play football.
Well done.
Well
done.
Yeah, brilliant.
We picked up 3 points at the weekend, which we needed to. We really, really needed to. It was a good atmosphere. There was another protest, another 7,000 people, they say. This game, walking down to the ground, from the shopping centre, you come across where the aquatic or velodrome or whatever it is, that big random shaped building on the left.
Park, mate.
I don't know if that's the velodrome. I think it's the velodrome. I should really know. That's the velodrome. You'll see stewards, but my God, there was a lot of police. I probably passed about 40 or 50 police.
I'm guessing this wasn't Southampton bringing their firm.
This was obviously the protest, right? I was actually
taken aback. So this time you saw it?
I didn't see the protest. Again, nothing. Didn't see anything. I saw one person wearing a GSB out T-shirt.
There was a lot of people had seen pictures on the TV of them hanging the banners over the bridge and stuff. 7,000
people. There was a protest. I just didn't see it or get caught in it when I went across there. And it didn't help. It was the weirdest day Saturday in that got up in the morning, pissing down with rain. Then it all cleared up, really nice and sunny. Getting ready to get out of the house, hailstones start coming down. Leave. Arrive at the London Stadium. Absolute beautiful sunshine. By the time we park the car and stuff and start walking down, it's raining again. I think this is weird. So I think that might, if it had been clear and sunny, I think more people would have been out and about. But when I was cutting across the stadium, hailstones were coming down, so it wasn't good. But I've never seen so many police at a game at all. Even like if you guys are coming, I haven't seen that many police at a game. So they must have expected more of a protest.
Okay.
But it wasn't there. And then team sheet came out. I thought we were going to line up as a 4-5-1. I thought he was going to play Antonio wide left, Bowen wide right, Rice, Noble, and Fornals as the middle.
By the way,
and Haller up top.
Just to cut in for those who regularly listen to this, great shout last week on Snodgrass in terms of carrying the injury, because that passed a lot of people by. Obviously, he was fit. He came on as sub, but he's carrying an injury, isn't he?
He is. He's not well. He's not right. And
he's
Gakia,
not well. He's not right.
He's all right. That way, he must be something wrong, niggly.
I think we just got our title.
Yeah. Ngakia kept his place at right back, which is good. He had a more difficult game. I think it is harder against someone like Southampton when, almost against Liverpool, the pressure's off. It's a hit to nothing, whereas in this kind of game, you've got to perform. And he did well, good, reasonable distribution. But he did get caught a little bit isolated at times, so I had to get help from Ogbonna. But yeah, we lined up as a 4-4-2. With Antonio really right up top with Haller, Bowen on the right, Fornals on the left, and 2 holding midfielders, which was probably the right thing to do because we had to attack the game.
Did that ever change? Because when I look at touch maps, it looked like Antonio and Haller up front.
Didn't change.
Didn't
change at all.
A lot of the reports still have it set up that Antonio played on the left. That's incorrect, isn't it?
Completely incorrect.
Right, okay.
The 2 were up top together. And you look at the breakaway chances we had towards the final quarter of the game when obviously we were sitting a bit deeper, 3-1 up. Antonio's, the 2 of them were up top together. It wasn't, 3-1 is the right result, but it wasn't the best performance I've seen. Nothing like the Bournemouth performance where we really controlled the game. Still a little bit scrappy, but I think work rate and effort got us through. Bowen and Antonio were both so direct in the way they approach the game. They get the ball and they just head up and go for goal. Antonio makes me laugh. He's only got one trick. Like, he gets the ball, you know that he's going to run directly towards goal. He's not going to do anything else. It doesn't matter if there's 4 defenders or 1 defender in front of him. It doesn't matter if he's got support or hasn't got support. He only knows one trick, which is get the ball and go direct. And quite often he catches defenders out because they're like, well, he's got no support. He'll still go for it. So very direct. And we played well. Overall, Southampton didn't offer much. I mean, they're missing Danny Ings, but I think even with Danny Ings, they really, really didn't create a lot of chances, despite having a lot of the ball. And that work rate and effort of Antonio and Bowen and getting the ball and scrapping really got us through. And in the end, we created the better chances. The goals were really good. Mine too, to be fair. Ward-Prowse gave the ball away on the first, but then the through ball that got put through was really good, and Bowen, neat, tidy finish.
I loved the fact that it was, although higher up the pitch than it was at Liverpool last Monday,
bit of a replica.
It was the same run, and he tried the same finish. So he wasn't on his mind thinking, I tried this last week and it didn't work. Same run, same type of finish. Really impressed me.
Chipped it in. Haller's second goal surprised me a lot, because you'd think 99 times out of 100 that's going to get given as a foul on the keeper. But
it definitely wasn't.
If he was any shorter than his 6'4" or 5" that he is, his foot would have never got to that ball and tucked it in. So it was a good finish. And the last goal I liked. Haller flick on, Fornals picks it up, dinks it through, Antonio finish, done. That was very, very neat counter-attacking football.
Very effective route 1. It's not a criticism when I say that.
When you've got Haller, use him.
Do you know what? It's quite basic, but it's really cleverly worked on in terms of, all right, Haller's not the one who's going to run in behind pace-wise. It's Antonio. So really you want Haller going for the first one.
Yeah, and Antonio behind.
Antonio running behind. And Fornals, in that case, being smart enough to come off the flank and be in a position where if Haller wins the ball, so you're gambling. Yeah. It frustrates me so much that people don't gamble on people winning headers.
So
he's got himself into the position. Then when he's there, he's got the composure to play the right pass to Antonio. And once he's in, you don't think he's going to miss.
No, he wasn't going to miss at all. All in all, it was a very good performance. Defensively, Diop and Ogbonna had to do a bit of work. Fabianski was okay. Sloppy for the goal that we conceded, but apart from that...
Do you think you should have done better on that, Fabianski?
On the goal?
Yeah. Just felt like
he was full stretch.
He couldn't get up.
I did look at it. He was full stretch. So I don't know if he could have. Finish was right. I'm not going to hold it against him, to be honest with you. But very interesting. Like Bowen got man of the match, as he should. Home debut, scores a goal. Young kid, give him man of the match. For me, Haller was man of the match.
Okay.
Really was. And me and my brother have this ongoing running thing now where he loves Haller, and he just says the problem with Haller is that he hasn't played with a man up top with him, and he needs runners around to get the best out of him, and we haven't done that. So he gets irritated when people give him stick because he's not played in his proper position and he's not used effectively. I understand. I think he's right. But I give Haller a stick. He hasn't been good. So whenever Haller has a good game, my brother just turns at me and he's just giving it, who won that header? Every time Haller does anything good, it's like, who played that through to me?
Fucking hate people like that.
But he got better. You could tell the confidence grew in him. He got better as the game got on. And towards the end of the game, when he was winning, when we were playing a little bit more counter-attacking, he was winning the ball, but then being effective with it. And he's much the better for having Antonio alongside him. You could tell he's much the better with Antonio inside him.
If his leap wasn't as good as it was, and I'd never seen him leap like that before for both the second goal and the third goal, he obviously wins the original flick on.
He wins more than half his headers. His aerial challenges won.
He's got really high percentage, yeah.
Insane, over 50%. So, but Antonio now, I think they're learning to play together. So the moral of the story here is we've got to play this 4-4-2. We go into Arsenal away. Arsenal at the back is where you can get at them, bully the central defenders. So Antonio and Haller have got to go into that game thinking your guys are going to get bullied. And
will he be brave enough to play that again at Arsenal?
That's the question.
Because psychologically, I know what you're saying. It's all well and good and saying, yeah, that too, they need to work together. I 100% agree with you. In practice, that's fine. But then actually going at the bollocks to say, okay, yeah, we're going to go to Arsenal. We're going to play 2 up front. It's easier to do that. Wolves is your next home game, isn't it?
After that is Wolves, the week after.
Because you know Wolves will play with that back 3. It is easier to go that way. You kind of almost need that against Wolves to have people who can be in and around the box. But you're not going to get in behind. You can't get in behind Wolves, basically, because Cody goes so deep.
Yeah.
So different practice. And I think after Wolves, sorry, is that the scheduled game with us, isn't it?
Yeah, then it's Spurs.
Which will probably take place after Norwich destroy us on Wednesday night.
What dates? That's a Friday night.
Friday night schedule.
And then we've got
definitely
another game.
Definitely play the 2 up front against us. But I think Arsenal's the interesting one this week if he's got the balls to go with it.
I want to go to Arsenal and go for 3 points. I think we are in a position to go and give them some trouble. Definitely. If we play like that, physical, they'll give us trouble as well. Don't get me wrong. But I would rather go in with the mindset of we'll give you trouble as well. And remember the reverse fixture at the London Stadium, first 60 minutes, we were comfortable. We just collapsed in the last 15 minutes there, 20 minutes there. So I want to go to I'm not scared of this Arsenal game now, but the formation could scare me. Now, think about this. Lanzini on the bench, Anderson on the bench, Snodgrass on the bench. Suddenly, the bench, Yarmolenko is not back to fitness yet. The bench is getting a bit full, but I would not change the starting lineup.
It's a good thing, though.
Yeah, I would not change it. And if the summer comes, Lanzini can go.
No jokes. There's a few on your bench at the moment would get in my team.
Interesting to think. It's not Lanzini, I'll tell you that. But Snodgrass.
I think at the moment, Lanzini, Anderson, Snodgrass would all get in my team at the moment.
Wow, that's a.
I'm only saying at this moment right now.
Yeah, of course. If you had a full fit squad, maybe not so. But yeah, it was good. Really, really uplifting at the weekend to see that 3-1 win. And inside the ground, there was no protests. I'll tell you that. There was no chance.
No, I think that's good because West Ham and Spurs has been the same at times, and it might go this way with Spurs soon, is both stadiums can be awful players for players to play in if the fans are not in the right place and really getting on the players' backs. I think West Ham, particularly at the moment, because of the way, obviously the layout of the stadium now as well, it will become really, really obvious if the fans aren't backing the players. I think in an odd way, were you 10th in the league, it maybe would be going on in the ground. I'd like to think the fans recognise that whatever they think
we need
of,
to get behind the team.
Yeah, stay in the league.
They put a shift in as well. We can't argue with work rate again at the weekend. There was only one real issue at the weekend, and that was Aaron Cresswell. Awful game. Gave the ball away. Looked like he wasn't fit. Wasn't tracking back. There's a few times he got caught up the pitch, and he was like, "Fornals, you go back and cover me, will you?" Because he just didn't.
Really?
Yeah, he was awful. Absolutely awful.
Against Pepe on Saturday.
Yeah, well, we don't have depth on left back.
Where's Masaraku?
He was on the bench.
Was that just no depth?
No, that's no depth. Not defensively, anyway. He'll give us wing back cover, maybe. But
would Masaraku, maybe though, specifically playing against Pepe, might be the better option.
But it was after Masaraku came on in the home fixture that Pepe tore us a little bit.
That is spot on, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't play Masaraku. I'd play Masaraku as a left midfielder winger, or left of a 5, but not in a 4-4-2. Nah, not for me.
I hope he gives the 11 that did well for you on Saturday another chance.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
And Ngakia against Aubameyang maybe Saturday.
And Ngakia's alright, Nah.
What do we know about him? Because now this is the first game, obviously not against Liverpool.
He's quick.
Did we learn anything?
His distribution is good. He wants to get forward. I think he's still finding his feet.
Is he quite a safe player, or
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that? Safe in terms of he'll play the easy pass.
But he likes to get forward a little bit, but he's not a bombing forward like Ryan Fredericks in any way. Defensively, he's good. Defensively, he's fairly sound. He's got pace as well, and he'll play it neat and tidy.
Do you think he stays in the team now?
I wouldn't know. I've got no reason to drop him. I've got no reason to change that team other than Creswell, but he's got no cover. And Creswell's been all right most games, so leave Cressy in there.
Okay.
I don't see any change there. But look, to get out of the relegation zone is massive. Into Arsenal, tough. Wolves, Tottenham, Chelsea round the corner. Manchester United still to play.
I think that's why Saturday was so big.
I reckon we'll beat Newcastle when we play them on the Friday night game. I think we can beat Burnley and Wolves. I think we've got the opportunity to pick up points here. And look, 3 goals at the weekend, 2 goals against Liverpool. We're able to score goals. We're in a position where we could, even if it's from set pieces or what have you, we've got players that can deliver the ball really well.
Yeah, Diop nearly got another one at the weekend, didn't he?
He's hotting up a little bit, isn't he, as a goal-scoring centre-back. So we're in a position to score goals, and we will score goals, I think. So then it's a case of defensively, can we hold out? Agbona's all right defender, you know. He's not the most cultured with the ball, but as a out-and-out tackling defender, he's decent.
They're first choice now, aren't they?
Yeah, I honestly thought, I didn't think Agbona would get in. I thought Balbuena, Diop from last season would carry through. Agbona, he's a very good tackling defender. And
that Balbuena performance at Sheffield United really opened my eyes.
It will hurt,
in terms
man,
of his lack
for a
of
while.
pace.
It will hurt for a while. I feel like business end of the season now. And I think for me, I've got Wolves game on the Sunday, but then I'm away on holiday, albeit coronavirus doesn't cancel my holiday, for the first game in April, and which is Chelsea. I missed the second game because my wife's cousin's getting married. Thank you very much. And then we're into May. So only 3 games left this season.
You're only 13 points behind Spurs.
Yeah, I did look at the table and think this is to consider what a weird season this year.
Do you think you could catch us?
Nah, no chance.
I think we'd just about be all right.
Just about, though. Might get down to single digits.
I'll tell you what, I am pleased we're on 40 points. If we were in that around the bottom 6 at the moment, we would be in trouble.
Yeah, it's not looking good. I think Newcastle have to really keep an eye over their shoulder right now.
I think they'd be okay. They're just edging, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's very, very tight times. There you go. Rundown of Tottenham versus Wolves, a rundown of West Ham versus Southampton, and anything and everything in between on our regular Tot&HAM. Join us tomorrow, Sky Fantasy Football coming at you, followed by Thursday, Clash of the Correspondents, our West Ham correspondent. You get Chris's take on whether or not he agrees with me, although through some DMs on Twitter, I know he thought it was a good performance. And Adam 35 Who Gooners will be there as well, followed by Final Plan on Friday. And we should mention it, and we mentioned it on the pod that went out yesterday. Friday night is the Cheaters are here.
I'm now making it. I didn't think I was going to be able to.
It feels like, in the future, the Cheaters are coming at some point. We're going to go for a drink up. It's this Friday. It's like 5 days away. I'm like, wow, that's crept up, boy. So we're going to...
I don't even know. I got close.
It's in Farringdon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit of a shitter.
I think the venue's all right. It's in Farringdon. Look out. Follow James on Twitter at Planet FPL Pod, or follow me. We'll be tweeting and talking about it. But do come out on Friday night if you're in London for a drink or two.
That's it.
There we go. Thank you for tuning in. Ciao for now.
Cue music, man child. Man child.
Fantasy Football Show.